Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm great. Happy Father's Day, James.
Happy Father's Day, Bailey. Speaking of that, we don't have guests today, but our fathers are with us, as always, in spirit, and we're going to get to that in just a second. We're going to have an update on the College World Series. I'm going to give some what I think is very special, important life advice, and Bailey's going to tell us all the cool stories about a recent father-son trip that he had to Baltimore, and we're going to give away some merch. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of the Fanboys Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and all over all forms of social media. The Fun Fans is the official podcast for Clemson fans. Bailey, where's our official place to eat?
Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, the best wings around, with 2 locations in the upstate. Batesville Road at 1083 in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. Find them at RubensC.com. Reuben's is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans.
Yes, it is. I might go there tomorrow. And let's not forget about Wayne Buckingham's fundraiser, the Orange and White Weekend, which includes a gala. Tim Bourret has said this will be a historic event. It will be the first time these guys, and when I say these guys, we're talking about some big-name Clemson players and coaches, have been together at the same place at the same time. We're talking Horace Grant, Dale Davis, LaVon Kirkland, Michael Dean Perry, Coach Danny Ford, and the list goes on. Matter of fact, just announced Michael Ray, it's on the tip of my tongue, the Disney movie player, Michael Ray, Michael Ray. That's it. He's supposed to be there now, so that's going to be awesome. So you saw the graphics, so find the information and make sure you get there. Oh, plus me and Bailey will be there. Don't forget.
That's right.
That might be the best part. So get your ticket. And like we said, happy Father's Day. So quick shout out to the dad. So here's my dad. He power tool.
Got him a little saw there.
He's ready to cut
Working on something.
Yeah. So happy Father's Day, Jimmy. He's Jimmy. I'm James. And he's ready to rock and roll. And there's the
Big
real
Ed. That's Big Ed. Happy Father's Day, Big Ed.
That's right. Obviously, where Bailey gets his dashing good looks
Charming
from, right?
looks and personality.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get into Bailey's story, and since I click all the buttons, I'm going to follow his lead on what to click, so y'all bear with us. And I'm pointing this out. If you're listening audio, you got to get to these video things because I do such a poor job at producing and hosting the show. I mean, you got to see it for yourself. So, Bailey, you tell me what to click, or you start talking, and I'll do the best I can. Let's hear about your trip to Baltimore.
All right, so we went to Baltimore to see our O's play baseball this past week. We flew up Tuesday, and then we were back in Charlotte Thursday morning around 10 o'clock. But it was just a trip that we pretty much we're trying to take every year because we love the O's, and they're exciting this year. They have the second best record in baseball, and they're in second place in their, in the American League East. So very tough division. But so Whit and I and my wife went up to Baltimore, and we got to go to the game Tuesday night, which they won. And then Wednesday night, they did not win. But so Tuesday night, we sat in some pretty good seats. But Whit also, pop that one back up there, James. Whit also took a picture where he did the same thing that they have this Legends Park right out in left center field. So he did the pose of every legend, and that's Jim Palmer. But a really cool thing that we did, and that's Cal Ripken, other than we stood in line, waiting on the gates to open, and this cameraman from Masson, which is the Mid-Atlantic Sports Network, which plays all the O's games, he popped his camera up right there at our gate, and he actually recognized me from this podcast.
I'm sure.
And said, we're going to get you coming in the gate. So James is getting ready to play a video. This is the intro to the Masson broadcast of the Baltimore game Tuesday night. And they just missed my wife because she had gone in ahead of us. So they're coming on the air. They're saying it's back to Orioles baseball right here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. and the gates are opening. And sure enough, when they get it, there's Wit, and there's one of the fun fans.
There he is.
Right there. That was pretty cool. We were on, we'll call it regional television,
Yeah.
but it was still pretty cool. And then, we had a big time. But Wednesday night, our tickets were in section 86 at Camden Yards called the Splash Zone. Okay, it's one section, and this guy named Mr. Splash. I don't expect anybody to know this stuff unless you've seen a game. So after the O's have an extra base, or when they get a base hit, they turn the faucet on. They go back in the dugout. Let me see if I can get in camera. They turn the faucet on, and then if they have an extra base hit or a home run or they score a run, they do the sprinkler. If they hit a home run, they have the homer hose in the dugout. So It's all water themed. Well, Camden Yards decided to have a section that was water themed. And so every time they have an extra base hit or they score a run, everybody sitting in that section gets hosed down by Mr. Splash.
Oh, wow.
Now, I think you have that video.
Oh, uh-oh. That video I've shown, I'm sorry, is the only one I have.
Oh, you didn't get the video I dropped in the Google Drive?
No.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's getting wet. Anyway, it's literally a water hose, and he sprays the whole entire section, which is there's only probably, I'd say there's 40 tickets, maybe 50 tickets tops in that section.
Yeah.
So we were able to sit there, and that was a neat experience, one that I will not do again, but it was pretty neat. So we had a great trip, big time. Got to spend some time with my son and my wife and with the O's up there in Baltimore, and we stayed right there at Camden Yards. It was pretty cool.
Cool. All right. Well, speaking of Major League Baseball and other stuff that's cool, I hear your deceased, your
so my
father-in-law
father passed away in September, but we found out this week. If you don't know, Major League Baseball changed the rules for this year. They have a pitch timer. They have some restrictions on where infielders can shift to, and they have bigger bases, slightly bigger bases. That was all to provide more offense, but at the same time, speed up the game a little bit. They also have a rule where if you put a pitcher in, he has to stay in 3 batters if it's the same inning. So you don't have these managers going lefty on righty, righty on lefty, 1 batter at a time, and it slows the game down. But about a year and a half ago, my father-in-law wrote a letter to Major League Baseball encouraging them to make some changes to speed up the games. And guess what? They did. So his name was affectionately Pop. So we call them those new rules, the Pop rules, because he changed the landscape of Major League Baseball. Thank you, Pop. Games are now averaging like 35 to 40 minutes less time than they did last year.
Very good. You never know with the power of a letter. That's cool. So what I did in honor of Father's Day for the show, played tennis with my daughters today and visited with the family the past couple of days, of course. The tennis was pretty cool. Hadn't done that in a while, but I put a poll. Yeah. I put a poll on Twitter, thinking about dads, and we do a sports themed show for the most part. Normally, stereotypically, whatever you want to call it, the dad is a role model, is someone that teaches a child how to play a sport or introduces them to sport or something like that. Bailey, did your dad the one introduce you to sport? If what I put on Twitter is, did your father play a major role in your love of sport or sports? Would that be true for you?
No. So my mother was the athlete, and I grew up a large part of the time in the summertime, especially, or after school, in my grandmother's backyard, where all the neighborhood kids would come down there, and if it was football season, we played football. There was a basketball goal back there at one time, and then we also played like wiffle ball. And so I would say my mother was the athlete. She was an all-conference basketball player.
Nice.
5-year varsity basketball player in high school. But we're just, I don't know. My cousins were all involved in sports. My uncle's in the South Carolina Hall of Fame as a football coach. And that's what our life centered around was the backyard and playing whatever was in season.
Right. Well, that's when I thought back too. I have an older brother, as you know, and we just went out and played the sport. I don't, maybe my dad taught me how to do this, that, but I know he did teach me to play tennis. So if I thought I would have answered yes to that question, plus my dad I know he played football, and seeing his jersey, I remember seeing his jersey as a kid, just seeing the jersey kind of, as a small child kind of made me want to play football. And my
Now,
grandparents got me to Clemson games and stuff, but put those two things together and kind of inspired me to into football.
and my grandmother actually played in the state basketball championship in 1933.
Look out.
So
Hashtag back in the day.
I'm not going to sell my dad short, because if there was a need for an assistant coach on when we were playing Little League or something along those lines, he stepped up and he always helped out. And, we were the guys that carried the catcher's equipment home with us. And, we'd have full gear out here in the backyard, and we would pitch, and we had a backstop, and home plate is actually still out there. Like it's just something we're not going to move because it's there. And it's
Right.
sunken into the ground. It's part of the earth now, but it's still part of what we did growing up.
Well, the results of the survey on Twitter, and of course, I would have thought that it would have been a heavy yes. Did your father play a major role in your love of sports? And it was directed towards sports fans, which of course is on Twitter, so who knows? But it's 54.5% yes and 45.5% no. So it's almost half and half, and that kind of surprised me. But based on our conversation, probably a lot of moms and a lot of friends and cousins and et cetera, and not the stereotypical, my dad is the one that, was all out there, taught me how to play catch or et cetera, et cetera. So interesting poll. That's why you do research. You don't assume, right? You go out there and find out. So,
and I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to report this to Child Protective Services or anything, but my mom was a teacher, and bless her heart, the only days when she was off, we were also off. So there were plenty of times in the summer we just got locked out of the house.
That's the way
y'all
it used to be.
Go do something.
Go
do something. So we were in the woods, we were in the yard, we were doing something.
Yeah.
Come
back when the street lights come on.
She needed a little quiet time, I guess.
That's right. Hey, but you know who else is a father?
My man Jay
Do, MC, entertainer, entrepreneur, pep rallies, corporate events, game shows, fundraisers, galas, etc. Just put that man on the mic and let him liven up the party. Not only is Jay Do a friend of mine, I've seen him work, and you and your organization will not be disappointed anytime you add Jay Do to your function. You can find him at itsjdo.com and on all forms of social media at itsjdo. All right, we got just a weekly update on some sports stuff that's going on. And let's just start with golf. Do we have to whisper? Because it's golf.
No, they can't hear us.
Oh, okay. So,
yep, U.S. Open is currently the leaders are on number 12. So it's in Los Angeles, so it's a primetime event.
That's right.
It's been pretty cool, but I think Ricky Fowler is hitting his approach shot right now into the 12th green, and the leader is 11 under, and there's one back at 10 under. And then Fowler 7 under. So,
oh man,
turning into a 2-horse race.
When I came to the studio, I was going to say it was shaping up to be a pretty tight back 9. So we'll see how that turns out. The NBA Finals wrapped up this week. I hadn't even thought about it, but because we're mainly college and college sports is kind of wrapping up, but we haven't even talked about NBA. And I actually watched that last game. That I think it was a game 5, but the Nuggets took the 7-game series in game 5 and won this year's championship. Congratulations.
All right. So the best player on the planet right now is Nikola Jokic. All right. He was the MVP of the finals, but he was the 41st pick in the 2014 draft. And he is by far the most skilled 7-footer I've ever seen in my life. He, in the playoffs, in the postseason, he scored 600 points. He had 269 rebounds and 190 assists in the playoffs. All right. It's the Nuggets' first NBA championship. They've been a franchise for 47 years, but before that, they were in the ABA, and they did not win an ABA championship either. But Miami, let's give some credit to Miami. They became the first team to play in the play-in tournament and advance all the way to the finals, and only the second number 8 seed to ever make the finals. So congratulations, Miami, as well.
Good job, Miami Heat. All right. And then the other big stuff going on, of course, is the College World Series. I saw Virginia lost an elimination game today. Does that make them the first team out?
They're the only team that's been eliminated at this
Currently,
point.
they're the only team eliminated. Okay.
And the finals don't start until Saturday. So, I remember they used to play like 3 or 4 games a day, and now they only play 2.
And that's probably better.
Especially if you have weather, because out there, Omaha, Nebraska, you never know, thunderstorms or whatever.
Right.
But yeah.
So they'll squeeze in more games if they have to, but okay.
Well, I guess it's made for TV now. It's ESPN 2 and 7 the next however many days.
Well, what I've seen, and speaking from a fan standpoint, we've done some sports updates. From a fan standpoint, I've noticed a couple things. Three things. Number one, place was packed. People love it. People love the College World Series, and I do too. Even Clemson's not there, and I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I'm sitting there watching College World Series. There's just something about it hard to explain. Place is packed, so that's great. Number two, the food they're eating there looks really, really good. Baseball stadium food.
I forgot to mention food in Baltimore.
Tell us. The baseball stadium food is usually on point. What was going on up there in Baltimore?
Well, it's all about the crabs. So we had crab dip. The first night. We ate at a restaurant inside the stadium, and we got 3 appetizers. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think my crew was going to eat some of it, but everybody loved it, and the crab dip was outstanding.
All right, we'll have to check that out.
And then the next night we went to a restaurant about a block away, and my first cousin who was there eating with us, he ordered crab cakes. So and Whit had crab dip again, so it was good.
Oh, good. The third thing I've noticed, and I haven't watched. I've watched probably 12, 14 innings, 15 innings of the games so far. And I talked about the reviews going on in the regionals and super regionals. Haven't seen a knock on wood, haven't seen a review, at least from what I was watching. And, however you feel about reviews, not getting into that, but either the umpires are doing a really, really good job, but that's a good thing for the fans not having to sit through the review. So good. Some fan perspective on the College World Series. Good luck to the teams that are still in it, and we will definitely have an update next week. Now, finally in sports.
Hold up. Before you do this,
okay,
I forgot to mention that we also drove to the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis and took a look around just to say we had been there, and it was neat. But, and if you've never been to Annapolis, Maryland, fun fact, it was the capital of the United States for a brief period of time. And there is a college there called St. John's College that was founded in 1692, right there in the middle of town, right a block from the entrance to the Naval Academy. So it was a neat trip.
Cool. That's a neat area. Of course, Jillian, one of my daughters, is going to grad. We'll be heading to DC again here in just a couple of weeks. So awesome. Nice story. All right. So I think this is a really, this is some life, some inspiring, whatever you want to call it. I just feel moved to pass this along. So see if this music fits. Okay, guys. The SEC has already released the 2024 football schedule. Why they want to do that, that's fine. I don't know. Here we are. It's June of 2023. We haven't even kicked off the first game. But they've released the 2024 schedule. Fine. But you can't scroll. Being a sports fan and the social media and whatever that I follow and see, there's people already focusing on the 2024 season, making predictions, looking at the matchups, et cetera, et cetera. People, enjoy the moment. That's over a year away. Calm down. 2023 needs to kick off first. I get that you're excited about the expansion Texas is coming, Oklahoma is coming, and that's great. But that's over a year away. Is it? This is another thing, kind of with the microwave society, or the worried about down the road so much that you're not stopping to smell the roses. Now stop and smell the pigskin that we've got here.
I'm not going to say anything bad. All right, sorry. Oh, here's the thing.
Okay, so
I don't mind if they release it, but how can you, let's say, prognosticate on next year's football teams? You don't know who's going in the portal and who's not.
Right?
What coaches are leaving and which ones aren't.
It's hard to know. Yeah. I mean, they are
SEC.
just so wrapped up, and okay, whatever. So anyway, but don't forget about today, Father's Day. Don't forget about this summer, this season. 2024 has got plenty of time.
And I did just see that
to do its thing.
That, we've talked about television revenue and the conferences and all that stuff on here before. I did see that NBC and Peacock is going to have Big Ten Saturday night next year.
Nice.
They're going to have a Big Ten game on basically national television.
Now, does that mean where does that put Notre Dame? That keeps them in the 4:00 spot, I guess, though.
Yeah, Notre Dame's going to be on NBC
at 4, and that'll be great. It'll be like a double header.
Well, they have Peacock too. They're going to stream it, or it's either or they'll probably have 2 games. They could go to either one of them. If Notre Dame plays their 2:00 kickoff against Air Force,
right,
that's going to be on NBC, and then they'll have another game on later. So,
right.
But that's television revenue.
Bring it on. Bring it on. All right. Speaking of revenue, Bailey, tell our friends about a little bit of Diamond Etch Products.
Did you know that Diamond Etch Products is now an officially licensed partner with Clemson University? You can get your own official Clemson swag from Diamond Etch Products, and they have mastered the diamond laser engraving process, and they can put almost any design on. You pick the item, they'll put it on there. It's high quality. It lasts forever. Check out Diamond Etch Products at diamondetchproducts.com, or you can email Jaylin, Jaylin, at diamondetchproducts.com for more information. And you can also get some Fun Fans merchandise.
That's right.
From Diamond Etch Products. So thank you, Diamond Etch Products. You do a great job.
You can also get Fun Fans merchandise from us, and we are working on a way on how you can get the Clemson Diamond Etch products also from us. So, if you'd rather just, hit us up versus going to their website, we will definitely get you hooked up with the Clemson swag from Diamond Etch Products. And I apologize for not having the ticker going, but we'll talk about that in 1 second. While we're finishing up the Diamond Etch Products, it's time for the giveaway. And this week, Fun Fan Tumbler goes to Owen Black. So, Owen, we appreciate. Wait a minute. There we go. I knew I thought I was doing pretty good to just end it. Owen really, really, really helps us out on social media, so we appreciate all your support.
Thank you, Owen.
I will be reaching out soon to get you your tumbler. How can you get some Fun Fans merch? Just share any show on any social media, and you'll be entered in a drawing. And want to point out once again, I apologize to Gayla McGinnis. If you saw the show we had before, Gayla McGinnis Design, she does hats. Look at that. If you're listening to audio only, you're just missing out right now. This hat is from Gayla McGinnis Designs. Those links, all these links will be posted when we post the show. And we also, my mother-in-law got a hat, and it's hard to see the design for her, but she will bling you up a hat, and she's got plenty to choose from. So we appreciate Gayla and appreciate y'all need to go check. I mean, I'm at a loss for words.
I see that. That's odd.
That is very odd. All right, so cool. So shout out to Gayla McGinnis Designs, and we'll be back. And just a reminder that we are Channel 24 on WSBN TV. So when you're looking for our shows, you can find us on all forms of social media, YouTube, or you can just sit and watch us on Channel 24 WSBN TV, just like it's, speaking of NBC or Peacock, We are WSBN
on
TV,
the streaming service.
a streaming service. That's right. All
Hey,
links.
speaking of our show, I saw our boy Nick Clayton this weekend.
How's he doing?
He's doing great. His golf game's not very good right now, but he'll work on that.
He's got some
But
work to do.
he's awesome, and best of luck in the upcoming draft.
Nice.
So just
Yeah, we'll
want
have
to
to keep
shout out to Nick.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes and ears on that one. So
Mhm.
reach out to us about Buckingham's fundraiser, the Orange and White fundraiser, rubbing elbows with some big time Clemson folks. Reach out to us on how to get your Clemson officially licensed Diamond X Products Clemson swag, or email Jalen at diamondxproducts.com. We appreciate Bailey bringing the story of his trip to Baltimore, and I hope people listen to my moment of zen and pay really close attention. Right, we'll
It was
be
really thought provoking.
yeah, we'll be back next Sunday at 8 p.m. Thanks again for everybody checking us out. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on all this other stuff. All links and everything we've mentioned will be posted and will also be on the Fanboys webpage. We're going to continue bringing you fun stories of great fans and plenty of guests posting a show each week on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson.
Happy Father's Day, and thanks to all the fathers out there that made a difference and continue making a difference, hopefully like we do.
That's right. Every day. Thank you for listening. Happy Father's Day, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers.